Going to pin the link for you here. So in case you want to join the live, you can tap on the link and join me. All right. Okay. It's pinned. Great. So I'm going to share the links. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm going to share the link, and this time I'll honestly just dive into our topic. For those of you who attended the first live, we actually talk about the same issues, but this time I'm going to go into details. And let me share the live very quickly. How do I share that? I've even lost my chain of thought. Yeah, I can do this maybe. No, that's not what I want to do. No, that's not what I want to do. Give me a second, okay? I'm just trying to share the link and then we can start, right? Okay. Give me a second. Otherwise, if you're new here, I'm live with Rooshoff. I go by the name of Rooshoff on all my social media channels. And I'm a practicing social worker living in Germany. So I'm going to share this very quickly, and then we can start. Okay. I'm posting it on Instagram, so we're not here alone. One second. YouTube. Hi, Real for Real. Thank you for joining me. I'm just trying to share the link to the live very quickly so that people can join us. And please excuse my lighting. It's terrible. I even don't know what shade of color I have, but that really doesn't matter. I think what matters is the content and the information that we'll be sharing in a few minutes. So, Real for Real, if you're a new member, if you're not yet subscribed, please kindly subscribe and turn on your notification button. And while I wait for more people to join, please share the link. You just have to go on the video, on those three dots that are on the right side, tap on it, and then it will show you share, and then you can share the link maybe on WhatsApp, status, or Instagram or Facebook, so more people can join us. And let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to ask me questions already. Today, it's just really an introduction. I'm introducing myself to you. It's a Q&A, so you're free to ask me about anything about myself, about my journey, why I'm doing this, and of course, questions about Germany, life in Germany, the bureaucracies. If you need to understand me better, you can go to my very first YouTube video so you know what I'm all about, and then I can get to share the information that you need from me. But right now, today, on this hour, we're going to be talking about life in Germany, visa, work, relationships, a bit of details, and then I'll go along from the kind of questions you ask me. Most important also, there's an option to join me, as in, like you join the chat and we talk to each other. So you just have to tap on the link that I've shared in the comment section. It's been there, and you can join the live. If you're shy about showing your face, you can still turn off the camera and talk to me using a microphone. I would really appreciate that. But in the meantime, please share the link. Let me post this also on Instagram very quickly, and then we'll kick right off. I'm trying to type. I'm trying not to be quiet because I think it's irritating since you're all waiting for me to start. So I've shared the link. Great. So I think we have that tap link. Oh my God, it's too complicated. So real for real, please talk to me. Where are you watching from? Which country do you live in? That would be interesting to know. And of course, it helps us start a conversation. So talk to us, please. Let me tag a few people so they can post it. I'm telling you, it's not easy. Add. So got you. And who else? Yeah, I think that would do. All right. Finito. I'm done. Vic. Please. Great. So, hi, Eisenwolf. Thanks for joining me. I'm done. I'm sharing it now on Instagram. All right. So kindly share the link too, and then we can go on. So real for real, I would like to chit chat a little bit with you as we wait for more people to come. I think it would be more interesting if we have more people to interact with, to share thoughts with, and I'm going to give it exactly. It's now 7:44 in Germany, so around 7:50, I'm definitely going to start. So prior to this live, I had a test live which I've already uploaded on my YouTube channel. If you'd like to know more about me, you can click on it and watch it. I get to introduce myself, and now I don't want to do more introductions because that would be too much. So definitely, let me ask Eisenwolf, can you hear me? Is my sound on? So as biotractile, okay. So I'm sharing it also on my Instagram, so people can join us. Is in Instagram stories. Story, channel name. Oh my gosh. Real for real, where are you watching from? I would like to get to know you better. And of course, chit chat with you since you're so kind to have joined the live already. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you. You can hear me great. I'm almost done, honestly. I hope you can understand why I'm trying to share it. Oh, we have more people here. Please, if you just joined the live, welcome to the live. Let me know where you're watching from. Tell me about yourself. Like I said, today is my first ever live. I streamlined a few hours ago, but it was more of a test live. And now I would like to go into details. Since it's my very first time to go live, I would like you to ask me questions about me or general topics. If you know me on Instagram, you know what I'm all about. And I'm all about social empowerment, and I would like to share my knowledge and my journey and my life here in Germany, and hope we can all get to support, empower, and grow together. Tonight, we're going to be doing a Q&A where you ask me anything and everything. And then I want to talk a little bit in details about integrating in Germany, work in Germany, Germanvisa, and then relationships. I'm going to be talking a little bit in detail. And of course, I've shared a few videos before where I talk about things in details. And if, of course, once I start talking about these things, if there's a question you have, feel free to ask me. Hi, Tadashi. Oh, from Russia. Thank you very much. Oh, my son has a best friend in class who is from Russia. How do you say? Oh my God, he's been teaching me Russian words. He's taught me da, niet. I know a few Russian words. Thank you so much for joining me. Real for real, thank you so much for sharing with friends. I'm hoping more people join us. Tadashi, please kindly share the video link so more people can join us. I'm also busy sharing on Instagram and Facebook so that people can join us, and then we start chatting, because I would like to share everything now in detail. Thank you very much. I'm almost done here. Then we can start. All right, share. Great. I don't want to miss anyone. And by the way, I've pinned the link to this YouTube live. If you're not aware, that link means if you click on the link, you can join the live. That means you can come into the live and chat with me if you're interested in that. And if you're shy about showing your face, you can always turn off the camera and just talk to us if you have a story to share with us. So Real for Real is in Stuttgart. Oh, that's very close to where I live. Let me see. I live in South Germany, but Stuttgart, okay, that's a very small distance, and I often fly also from Stuttgart. Nice to meet you. Are you an indigenous German, or do you have a migration background? I'm just curious, I'm just thinking if it's maybe a fellow African. I'm curious to know where you're from, how life is treating you here, because that would be interesting. I'm sharing my story, I'm sharing my knowledge, and then being able to connect with someone, for example, who has a migration background here in Germany would be very interesting. Tadashi Zinyu. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I won't say the second name because I don't want to mess it up. So how is Russia? How is the situation right now with the whole chaos going on in the world? How are you doing? But most of all, thank you so much for joining me. Your name is not familiar, so I imagine you're new here. Please kindly subscribe and turn on the notification button so you don't miss out on the next videos that I'll be posting. I'm going to be posting a travel vlog to the Royal Ascot. So you'll be seeing everything that I did there, my hotel. I made a number of videos showing, like everything that happens during the Royal Ascot, the Royal procession, So I would really want to share that with you. So make sure you turn on the notification button and don't miss anything. Let me share this link now. All right. I have to see who else is there. Oh, okay. I'm going to get into details now because yeah, I'm getting into details now because like I promised, it's already 7:50. So I won't wait. Probably the next people would have to watch after I've saved the live. Yes. And let me share it on Facebook too. Oh my gosh, it's a lot of work. Tap and I'm sorry for boring you. I'm going to start talking. Join the live. Finito. 9. Jetzt veröffentlichen. So let's say, oh my God, it's so warm today. Yeah, so I told you I'm going to be talking about details. Let's start with work in Germany. I get lots of questions, a little background info. I do free consultations on Instagram. So of course, I've had a number of people who DM me and ask me questions about, I would like to start working in Germany. I would love to move to Germany for work. Most of the people want to come as au pairs, and then I've had people who want to come as professional workers. I've done a video about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about that again. So first of all, let's just say you're already living in Germany and you want to start working. If you're someone with an immigrant background, most important thing is you must learn the language. There's no way around that. You must learn the language. And from my personal experience, it's not that hard to learn the German language, but everyone is different. But there's always a possibility. Second, the advantage is in German that the German language is paid for by the government. So it's basically free of charge. I mean, you have no excuse. And then once you learn the language, for example, I'm talking about people who are already living in Germany, just start sending out applications, just get active on Indeed, like these job websites, go on those job websites, type in your area like you live in. I'm going to use an example of real for real. If you're living in Stuttgart, for example, you type in Stuttgart, you type in the kind of job you're looking for. You can even type in the hours that you want to work, Vormittag, Nachmittag, like mornings or evenings. And then subscribe and they send you emails. Another option, there's a website from Job Center. You don't have to be getting social help to apply for that website. You just have to subscribe to it and you can get jobs tailored to your area. And if you see a job that you like, just apply for it. Most important, what I really have to emphasize, never get scared by a job. Like job adverts where they put, we need someone with this experience and you must be mentally in position to do this and that. Don't let that scare you. I think for me, I believe the most important thing for you is the confidence, the self-confidence, the trust in yourself. I'll not go into details. Maybe next time I can do a video about how to pass an interview, a job interview in Europe or in Germany. So that's for people who are living here. And of course, if you also have an immigrant background, most important of all is if you have a degree, a diploma, or a certificate. It's very important. If you didn't study here in Germany or Europe, you need to have your qualification verified. That's what we call Anerkennung. So you apply for this process. They'll check your papers, but most of all, they must be translated into the German language. So there's what they call Anerkannte Übersetzer. Anerkannte Übersetzer means like a certified translator. So it must be a certified translator to translate your papers. And then you apply for this process, the Anerkennungs process, the verification process. And then it takes about 3 months, depending on which Bundesland, which I would call like the district you're in. And once the process is over, they'll tell you, they'll give you a certificate that says you're qualified to practice in that qualification. For example, for me, social work, I had my degrees all in Uganda. And then when I came here, I did the verification. That is what we call Anerkennungs process in Germany. It took me also roughly 3 months. And then because social work also has a lot to do with law, like we also get to study the law, I had to do 1 year here because I'd learned the Ugandan law and had to learn the German law because my work is all about paragraphs and capital and, so it's too much of law and I must understand the law. So I had to do 1 more year, which I did. And then I got my qualification or my acceptance to work as a professional social worker here in Germany. So depending on what kind of qualification you have, you definitely must have it verified. And they'll check all those things. They'll check your university where you did that to confirm that you're really qualified. When the time comes for the CVs and everything, I'll do a video about that. I said I'm going to talk in details, but not so deeply about it. Unless you have a question, a particular question, if you're in that process of finding a job in Germany or how you can get a job, just let me know. Exactly. Real for Real is saying I've done a verification of my certificate. Great. So my question is, have you got it back? I want to tell people the ministry. How is it called? Gosh, I've even forgotten them. I'll tell you along the way. I have it in my emails. So once you get it verified, that means you can start working. And I also like to emphasize, I know, once you have an immigrant background, everyone has had different experiences. Personally, like I said, I've not experienced racism. I've not experienced people treating me badly. Of course, I've had situations where people have been funny to me. But like I said, for me, it really doesn't matter how people react to me or stereotypes people have about me. What really matters at the end of the day is how you react to such situations. And personally, I don't give my energy for negative situations. I will let people know if they're acting really ignorant. I will educate them. Or if they cross the boundaries, I'll set them straight and tell them it's not okay. But I'm not the kind to really waste my energy on ignorant people, if I should put it that way. So yeah, that's the most important thing. So always trust yourself. Don't be intimidated. Of course, I've had situations where people say, oh my God, it's very difficult to get a job here. They will never accept you. it also matters how you think, how do you believe in yourself or not? And then that determines the outcome. For real, I'm really appreciating your comments. So like she said, it cost her 100 euro. To be honest, I don't remember how much it cost me. But all I remember is that it was so little, it didn't even register, so it was not really much. That's what I would say. I'm trying to get the ministerium, but mine is different because it's social work. Because I would like to share it with you, especially the people in Germany. Let me look for it. Whew. And this email is like, I don't know, that was in 2016. That's when I did my Anerkennung, and I still have the email. But mine was Bayerisches Soziale und Kindheitspädagogikgesetz and blah, blah, blah. What is the ministerium called? Jeez, how can I even forget it? Give me a second. I want to start my house building in September. So real for real, if I may ask, what house building do you want to do? All right. Genau, so once the Anerkennungs process goes through, for example, I'll give a concrete example. There's someone I helped with that process. The ministry where we send this Anerkennung, depending on where you live, is called, for example, the one in Bayern where I sent mine is called Bayerisches Staatsministerium für Unterricht und Kulturs. And that's the same for example, Baden-Württemberg and so forth. The one in Baden-Württemberg is in Stuttgart, actually. So I'll give a concrete example. There's someone that I helped. She did go to university she went to school in Uganda, and she had a senior 6 qualification. That means she studied up to senior 6. She ended high school, but she didn't have any other qualification. So she told me she would like to be self-independent financially and get a job and so on. So we sat down and went through. I gave her examples of the kind of job she could do, and she decided easiest for her would be Altenpflege, working with the elderly. In her dream had always been to become a nurse, but she didn't trust herself to become a nurse in Germany because she was like, my language is not so good and I have 3 kids, it's going to be tough. So like, okay, so you want to be a nurse. So I helped her to get someone, a certified translator, because like I said, you need someone certified to translate your certificates, whatever certificates you have. So I got her a certified translator, and we got her documents translated. And then when you want to become an Altenpflegerin, for example, you just find an Ausbildungsplatz. So I helped her contact an Altenpflege organization or Heim, and then she applied that she would want to work with them and do an Ausbildung. The advantage with that is you can work and learn at the same time. So 6 months, she did that for 3 years. So 6 months in a year she was working. That's what they consider as practical work. And then 4 months in a year should be given time to, to do like her theory work, answer, exams and so on and so forth. And she managed to get her qualification. She's now a certified social health worker, and she gets really paid. And for me, I think that's a very secure job, especially for someone who never wants to go out of work, because there's always need for social care workers. And as you can see now, actually, for example, in the UK, they've opened spaces. There's even extra a special visa for anyone who wants to go and work in the UK as a social care worker. There are visas that are open, and you can go to the UK and get, this visa for 3 years and stay, and you're free to even go on and study and do everything. But you're bound for the first 3 years. Yes. So most important, like I said, you have to make sure that your papers get qualified, certified. Like a real for real has said, actually, let me pin her comment. Okay, now let me pin her comment so you can all see that. And then after that, actually everything is easy. So if you have any questions to working in Germany, the process, if you're in the process and maybe there's any information you need, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll go on. Hello, Mercy Ida. Oh my God, I'm terrible with names. Hello, Mercy Ada. Hi from Trier. Oh, great. Hi. Nice to meet you, and thanks for joining the live. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So I always ask, I'm curious. So are you an indigenous German, or do you have a migration background? If you do have a migration background, please just let me know. It's not out of disrespect, but I'm just curious, and I find it interesting to connect with people here in Germany or in Europe that have a migrant background, because like I said, my intention here is social empowerment. And by connecting with people that have migrant background, I think and believe that it's helpful, because we can all get to share our experiences, our knowledge, and support each other along the way. And of course, before I forget, I've pinned a link in the comment section. If you scroll down, you'll see the link. If you'd like to join the live, just tap on the link and join me. If you have a story to share with us, if you have a question to ask, something that I'm very passionate about. I have lots of people through my work and through my DM who are here in the diaspora, are stuck in terrible relationships, are stuck in terrible abusive marriages, and they don't know how to go about it. They don't know the bureaucracies. I have all the knowledge and information of how to go about that. So if you need any advice as regards that, or you want to share your story, just join the live. If you have a friend or you know someone who's going through that, I'm really passionate about that. Send them the link to join this live, and we can talk about that. If they feel more comfortable first talking about that with me, they can hit my Instagram DM, and then we first talk about it. So I'll go on. And everyone joining, please kindly share the link. Like I said, this is my first YouTube live. So of course, not many people are getting to see this, and YouTube doesn't really share the live that much if people don't have notification buttons turned on. So it would be helpful if you share the live, because for me, my target is really to serve and help as many people as possible. So I'll go. And if you have any questions about work, nein, nicht hier, Schatz.
Kann man mal wieder anrufen? Kann ich die Nummer schon wieder anrufen?
Aber ganz normal.
Verstehst du? Normal anrufen.
Genau. Kannst du bitte rausgehen und Tür schließen?
Ja.
Bitte, Schatz, ich bin live.
Ja,
That's my son. Nein, raus, Schatz. Bitte. I have to put on my tough face. Oh, gosh. So I'll go on. If you have any questions as regards work, bureaucracies, if you're planning to do an interview and you need advice, feel free to hit me up. Real for real. Of course, I'm keeping fingers crossed for you, for your house building. We can always chat. We can always go live together. You can always hit me in my DM. I'm always proud to see such progress. So talking of visa, I get lots of questions about that, okay? There's so many people ask me, how do I come to Germany? How do I move to Germany? I'm dating a German guy. I'm dating someone in Europe. I would like to come as an au pair, as in many people. So I don't know how to cut that up. I'll start by saying, for example, what type of visas are available for one to come to Germany? There's what we call a family visa. Family visa means if I get married to someone, for example, if he comes to my home country and marries me, or wherever it is you get married, you can apply for that visa. I had someone this week on Tuesday ask me, I'm dating a German guy, I'm expecting his baby, and I would like to know how I can move to Germany. So that one, you can get a family reunion visa, even if you're not yet married. If you have his child and maybe the child is born, you can apply for a family reunion visa, because you have a right, like for the baby to reunite with the dad. So that's one of the visas. Then we have qualified workers visa. I'll talk about that in detail in a few minutes. Then we have the au pair visa. Then we have the visit visa. For example, the visit visa, it's very important to know that you can only get that one by two ways. Either you're coming as a tourist. So if you're coming as a tourist, you definitely have to book a hotel first. You have to pay for, or to, apply for health insurance for the time that you're going to be there, which is normally like 3 months. You must apply for that. And then you take all these details to the embassy. So you must have evidence of where you're going to stay. In case of anything, do you have a medical insurance cover? And importantly, the financial visibility, because most visas, especially if you're from third world countries, unfortunately, they always want to prove if you're intending to just visit and go back to your home country. Another thing I would like to emphasize, don't let anyone on social media, Instagram, whatever, because I know that happens, lie to you and tell you, oh, you have to pay me money to help you get a visa for Germany or whatever. I'll tell you, the German embassy, the German people are very straightforward people. And normally, once you have all the things that you need, there's no reason why you will not get a German visa. So don't let anyone rip you of your money with promises of, I'm going to help you through the back door and whatnot. That's always actually fraud. The marriage and family reunion visa is very easy. If you have the evidence of a marriage certificate, or if you have a baby and the dad accepts that it's his baby, that is also evidence that he has a right to reunite with his family. Au pair visa is, if you need the links, I can always send them to you through Instagram DM. You must be at least under 30 years of age. You must know a little bit of the language. It's not a must. If you speak English, for example, I know people have come as au pairs and they speak English, but that means you will still have to learn the language. You will get paid. You have health insurance and everything, but how happy and lucky you'll be depends on the kind of family you get. Of course, it's possible to get like a mean family, like a not so kind of family. But the good thing about Germany, again, we have very good laws that protect you. And if really things turn out bad, you don't have to get stuck with the family. Speaking of that, I've spoken to some people who are in very desperate situations. I don't normally advise that, but there are some people that are in very desperate situations and they just want to move to the diaspora. They want to move to greener pastures. And I always say that au pair visa is a good option for you to move over, also for the long term, because if you come as an au pair before your year ends, if you've been doing the language, there's a possibility that you'll make acquaintances, you'll make friends, maybe you meet the love of your life, who knows. You have the possibility of joining school again or doing an house building, especially in the social care system. They'll take you on like hot cake, So for someone who is really, really desperate to just move to Germany or Europe, the au pair visa is a very good option. Another visa is the qualified workers visa, and that is mainly for people working in the health sector, nurses, healthcare, but there's also the possibility of coming in any field. And for this, you don't have to first move to Germany. There are links. I can always send them to anyone interested on my Instagram, where you get to apply for jobs here in Germany, even when you're still in your home country. If you're in Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Mexico, whatever, you can still apply for these jobs. But most important, you have to make sure that your documents are translated in Germany. You send them over, and then you apply for the job. And if everything goes through, of course, you definitely get a visa to come and do an interview. And then there are companies that really facilitate everything, like for you to come over and so on and so forth, most especially the healthcare, the social healthcare system. They'll provide everything for you, air tickets and so on and so forth, to come to Germany. So you can still do that even when you're in your country. You don't have to first move to Germany. Another visa, the luxury visa, is the investment visa. Of course, if you're coming here as an investor, that one is very easy. You just have to prove that you are really an investor and you're worth that visa. So I'll make a stop and see the comments. As Pflegefachkraft. Wow. So Real for Real says she's going to do an Ausbildung as Pflegefachkraft. Like I said before, that's a very good profession. Reason being, I get people asking me questions. What kind of profession can I do where I'm secure, where I'll easily get a job, of course, as someone with an immigrant background? And I say the healthcare system, be it nursing, be it doctor, be it, Fachkraft, Pflegefachkraft, is very good, because honestly, these professions are, I know that in German, unterbesetzt, as in there are not enough workers in these professions. So if someone is qualified for this profession, you will definitely always get a job, and almost like immediately. You'll never lose your job. Like, you'll be doing everything at your own time. So you decide if you go on working or not. Even if you decided, I'm going to do my house building like Real for Real is doing, and then I'm going to keep my certificate for the next 10 years. anytime you decide to start working, you will definitely 100% get a job. So if you're someone looking for security, those are very good professions to get into. But I'm not saying you can't work in the bank, you can't work in the Wirtschafts realm, you can do anything. But that is, I was just highlighting some of the safe qualifications, for example, here in German and Europe. Another comment is, yes, Germans are very straightforward people. If you follow the right process, you can get what you want. Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I can confess. And when people ask me, I always tell them, they always questions like, oh, how did you get a job here? Isn't it difficult? Did you have connections? No, I didn't have connections. And I've had very amazing jobs. I've worked in very big offices. I've worked in ministries. And honestly, for all the interviews, I didn't know anyone. I just went, I just applied and, they contacted me because, of course, I was qualified, and I just went for the interview, just like any other person would go for an interview. And those are interviews where there were other 20, 30 other people, and I got chosen. So I really must give the German people the props. They are really straightforward people. And I think what really matters is how you go for that interview. And I think I'll do a video about it, because most people think it's really complicated, but it's not as complicated as you've seen. I've been evidence. Okay. I'm sorry, some people are answering me right now about the live, so I'm doing both. Okay. Yes, so that's what I can say about work in Germany. Of course, I'm only getting into details depending on the questions you ask me, on what you're interested in. And maybe later when I save this video, you can share with your friends. And if someone needs more information about it, I can always do another live about it. So we're going to talk about the interesting bits, the questions that I always get about relationships. And I mean, there are quite a number of people living here in Germany, and they came as a result of love, I would say. They met the love of their lives, got married, moved over. And then the kind of questions I get are, for example, I'll start with the positive ones, right? I'm married, I moved here with my boyfriend, or we're not, okay, let me start, we're not yet married, I'm here with a 3 months visa, I'm visiting my boyfriend, and we intend to get married. So first step is, yes, you're allowed to get married. You just have to go to Standesamt, apply for the, for the wedding date or whatever it is. They'll prove to see if none of you has ever been married, and you can get married. And of course, once you get married, it's like swimming, you'll automatically apply for the family visa, and you'll definitely get it. Normally, depending on the situation and the kind of person that is working on your documents, you'll always get a 3-year visa, but I've had some people have got only a 1-year visa after marriage, but normally it should be a 3-year visa. So you get a 3-year visa, and after the 3 years, if the both of you are still married and you've learned the language, then you get a permanent leave to stay. Permanent leave to stay means you're free to stay in Germany wherever, whenever, until you get tired. And then that means if you want to become a German citizen, that's entirely up to you. So the final visa you get actually is a permanent leave to stay. What you decide to do with it is entirely your business. And then there's also this option of, I've had cases of someone has been married, you've got the 3-year visa. Like I said, the relationship, the marriage goes south, maybe it's abusive, maybe you notice after some time, this is not the right person for me. And to give a little background info, unfortunately, that happens because, like it is today, most people meet online, right? So you meet someone, he's all nice and telling you everything is perfect. And this is both ways, not just men, but women. And then you get married, you move in with them, and then you realize they're maybe totally different people. Maybe they're monsters. Maybe they're abusive. They're not supportive of you and your dreams. Maybe you want to work and they don't want you to work. So many reasons could be why you no longer want to go on with that marriage or with that relationship. And now comes the problem. Most of the people I've dealt with is their husbands tell them, for example, if you leave me, then you'll have to be deported out of Germany because, of course, you only have a 3-year visa. Or I even had a situation, terrible. I had a situation of a lady who approached me in my DM, Really terrible. That made me really mad. She was married to this guy, right? She comes from Kenya. She was married to this guy. As they were 1 year married, it's ridiculous. I really must laugh because it's crazy. Imagine you're married to someone, after 1 year, he tells you he's going on a business trip. But that business trip was never a business trip. He went to Kenya for a visit. And this visit was actually to meet another girl that he had met online. So he goes to Kenya, marries this girl traditionally, comes back here and tells his wife here in Germany, the one he also got from Kenya, and tells her, I don't want you anymore. I don't want to be with you anymore. Get out of my house. I'm going to divorce you and you'll get deported. It's so sad. So he left her. He moved to another city, brought the other girl, which is ridiculous because he was not yet even divorced, which is a crime here in Germany. I don't know how he did it. And then this lady was in a dilemma where the ministry, the behold, they were now sending her letters where they were going to deport her. She had had several lawyers, all a lot, waste of money. And then someone gave her my contact on Instagram and we talked. And of course, unfortunately, she couldn't read the German language. So most of the letters, she never replied on time, which can be very, very vital. So I helped her go through all the letters. She sent me the letters. I went through them with her. And then, of course, I advised her how you can go about such a situation. Of course, it's not true that you'll get automatically chased out of Germany or deported just because your partner divorces you. First of all, you're here legally, so there are ways to go against that. And the quickest advice I can give you without going into details, if you have no one like me, if you can't contact me, there are offices, there are, like NGOs you can go to and they give you advice. The best I would recommend is you go to Caritas, and just ask for advice, tell them about your story and let them tell you the measures that you can take. Never hurry to go to a lawyer because honestly, yes, lawyers are there to help us, but in such situation, most of them are just earning a living. So they'll just take your money and not really do much for you. So you need to first get advice without really putting money into it. And that's why I must say, if you get married to someone, now we're talking interracial marriages, maybe from Kenya, Uganda, wherever, because I've had people from all over, from Mexico, from Dominican Republic, from China. I've had a lady approach me in the gym from Brazil. It's really sad. Just make sure when you move to Germany or whichever country you move to Europe, make sure you get to learn the law. Make sure you get to learn the language if it's the language that you don't speak, and make sure you make contacts. They don't have to be best friends, but make sure you make contacts with people who have almost a similar background with you. Maybe someone who has a migrant background, so you always get knowledge and information. Unfortunately, I know in most abusive or toxic relationships, the partners always try to isolate you from people. So you don't get advice, so you don't get someone to help you, but you can still do it smartly. Just do it on social media or talk to someone, help you pass on the information. But 3 important factors: learn the language, learn the law, and make sure you make friends, acquaintances, or just contacts. And it doesn't have to be just, people of your race. It can even be German people, someone you can trust. So that's very important. Worst case situation, like I said, go to Caritas. We also have an organization called Frauen helfen Frauen, that is Women Help Women. Contact them. We have domestic violence headlines. Contact them. And worst case, because I've also had such situations where someone has been beaten red, blue, and green, call the police. But also always make sure you keep evidence if you can. If someone is beating you, record them. If anything, just make sure you keep evidence, because there are also some sad stories where people call police and maybe they are racist, maybe they're just nasty people and they don't believe you, they don't treat you right. So make sure you keep the evidence. If police come, make sure you get to know their names, who attended to your situation, when and why, and so on and so forth. That can be very helpful. Now, this is interesting. I didn't want to go in details, but you can see how passionate I am about the whole issue that I'm going into details. I'll go back to the comment section. So the topic we're on, like I said, if you have any knowledge about this, any experience, or you have someone that is going through that or has gone through that, or would like to share the story, kindly share the link with them so they can join us. And if you'd like to join the chat, if you'd like to go live with me, I shared the link. It's at the top of the comments. I pinned it. Please tap on the link and join me. You don't have to show your face. If you don't want to, you can just turn on your microphone. and we talk. Otherwise, if you have any experience of someone who's been through that, for example, what I've been talking about, just share it with us and let us know how they're dealing with it or how they dealt with it. And of course, you have to protect their privacy. You don't have to share names. That's very important to me. And for all of you who are still there, thank you for hanging out with me. I'm doing my best. It's my first ever live, but I'm sure with time we'll get better. What did I want to talk about? Yes, another important thing I should say is if you meet someone online and maybe you're living in two different countries, I would suggest take time. Don't rush things. It's very easy for someone to act nice for some time, but a human being cannot act nice for forever. So give it time, get to know them better, come and visit them on a visit visa. Don't rush into marriage. You know, because another thing people don't know is how repercussive a marriage is. I'm a divorcee, so I know how complicated and terrible it can be if you don't understand what it means to be married to someone, the liabilities you take on without really knowing, and those are things you should really think hard very through. I'll give you an example. I had a lady contact me from Sweden. She's a Kenyan girl married to a Swedish guy, and they had been married for I think 1.5 years. That guy was abusive, that he even beat her when she was expecting their baby, and she miscarried from the beating. And now she wanted to divorce him and had just discovered that he had debts. Debts means like he had taken up loans, and she was also getting letters to pay them. So that is a very quick example. I'll do an intensive video one day, but a quick example of what a marriage means. If you get married to someone here in Europe, for example, and they take up a loan, or if they are self-employed, if they have a business and they don't pay their taxes, and maybe one day you decide to divorce, you're also liable. Even if they owe the government 100,000 euro, if you have a job, the government will take that money from you. For example, that is something that people don't know, but the government will take that from you because once you get married to someone, you have eine gemeinsame Steuererklärung. Unless, of course, before marriage, that's why you have to know some things. You make sure that you do a notar document that says you have separate Steuererklärungen, which is very certain, So you really have to think things through, gather knowledge, talk to people who have been through that, what a marriage means, for example, what are the repercussions if things didn't work out and I needed to divorce. And from what I talked to this lady, she's stuck. I mean, she has no option because she made a big mistake of when this guy was taking a loan, he also made her sign. So she was a co-signee, so which means they actually applied for this loan together. Although she didn't know that, she thought I was just signing. But so I told her, you have no way out. You'll unfortunately have to pay this loan with him. And she was devastated because she has a small baby. The ex-husband is now unemployed. And she was like, so I'm stuck with this debt. I have to pay it. And I was like, yeah. And that was really unfortunate. So those are the things that really you need to take time to think about. Of course, I know that some people are in desperate situations. I know there are some people who have had no other option than to marry, someone in the diaspora to greener pastures and everything. Let's be real honest. But still, you really have to think hard about it and don't rush into things. Another important thing, speaking of marrying someone in Germany or interracial marriage, it doesn't even have to be an interracial. It can be if I'm African and I meet an African guy living in Germany. Think about the challenges. Think about the cultural differences. Think about the language differences. Think about the stereotypes. There's someone who love you and marry you, but maybe has the stereotypes of Ugandan girls love money or Kenyan girls love money, or girls from Mexico are not faithful. I'm just talking about the stereotypes that people could be having. So before you do that, actually think about all the challenges, not just the nice things and the fantasies and the film thoughts that you have about marriage, but think about all the challenges that might come along with it. So like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit in detail about a few of these things, like the title says, life in Germany, work, visa, relationships. If you've been following along with this chat, kindly join the conversation. Let me know about what you think about this conversation. have you experienced something like that? Do you know someone who has experienced something like that? Or maybe share your knowledge and information about these topics, what you think, what your thoughts are. Or if you have more questions about these topics, if you want me to do a complete video next time where I get to share details, just let me know. And most importantly, share the link with anyone that might need this information. Share the video with them. I'll save the video afterwards, of course, so they can always watch it, because that's actually my intention why I joined YouTube. During the pandemic, I was doing lots of videos, lots of lives, but I didn't like the fact that I couldn't talk long like now. And I had a feeling that when you save like Instagram, IGTVs, people don't really get to find them that easily. So I thought YouTube is better, because if I save this live now, it will be there forever unless I delete the account. So someone can always come back and listen to it and pick information, and of course ask me questions if any, or just hit my DM. So that's it. That's all that I wanted to talk about today. And of course, I'm hoping and looking forward to going live more often in future. So if you're someone that would be interested in going live with me, just DM me on Instagram and we can plan a live. Or if there's a topic that you'd like me to talk about, to address, just also let me know on Instagram and I'll do a live about it or do a video about it. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. If you've not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, share the video with your friends, family, and even enemies. I'm kidding, you shouldn't be having enemies. But don't we all have enemies, even the unknown ones? So yeah, I'm hoping this week to post my vlog, like I said, about the royal escort. And then my next video is probably going to be about, I don't know, maybe let me know in the comment section what I should, like I have so many topics. I have to sit down and like choose which one should I share first, or should I wait until I have many subscribers, because this is very important. So it's very complicated for me. But after the vlog, I'll be coming up with another video, or if you say this is something that you'd like me to talk about, then I'll do a video about it. And like I said, very importantly, my DM on Instagram or Facebook is always very open. I go by the names of Rooshoff on all social media channels. So you can always hit me up and I'll always get back to you. I think I'll end the live here. Real for real, I'm keeping fingers crossed for you. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to know, my DM is open to you. And I hope that the next time I get live here, that you'll have done your Ausbildung and you already be working. Mercy Ada, thank you so much for joining me from Trier. And maybe next time you can share your story with us or your journey here in Germany. What was the lady from Russia? Tadashi Zinua, thank you so much for having joined me and for being here the whole time. I'm looking forward to meeting you next time. Share the video, get us some Russian audience, get us some Russian brothers and sisters to join this family. So please share my YouTube channel link on Instagram, on Facebook, if you're in any Facebook groups, for example, or WhatsApp statuses or WhatsApp stories or groups. I would really, really appreciate that. And don't forget to turn on your notification button so you don't miss out on the lives next time, or if I post a new video. Until then, thank you so much and God bless you. Mwah. Beenden.